We want to get our program started here because we are going to walk down and dedicate our shelter. Being the high water was up, there was water, we couldn't dedicate it, couldn't have this down here unless we wanted to be boated over. So we are going to go down and later on dedicate the Fourth Ward shelter. But right now, we want to welcome everybody that's came. Make sure you sign the book with your name and address. Next year is going to be our 15th year. We're hoping to maybe hold it at the Winneshiek. Anybody have any other suggestions or whatever? But we thought with it being 15 years, the Winneshiek came off the island. That's where we would go for our 15 year.
Make sure they have black velvets.
Also, we will do t-shirts again next year. If anyone's interested in a t-shirt, make sure you get your name and your size on the t-shirt so we can get those ordered and be able to hand those out next year. Sarah has, Brenda has can coolers. Here, if you're interested in the can cooler, she has a donation can there. Also, that has, we have one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It says, "Come hell or high water." Fourth Ward reunion, and it's dated this year. So if you're interested in one of these, she's got them here on the table. There you go. Okay. Donnie is going to do our memorial. Every year we have the memorial of the people that we've lost within the year. I think we have a total of 13 or 14 this past year. So Donnie will do the memorial. Jeff has introductions of some sort. We have the mayor back here who's going to speak. So enjoy yourself.
Again, thank you everybody for coming. I'm going to read the list of names first and then we will have a brief moment of silence. Those we've lost within the last year include Roy West, July 11th of 2013, Patrick Frenette, the son of Louis and Virginia, August 6th of 2013, Jack Williams, son of Carl and Laura, on September 3rd, 2013, Gerald Tippery, son of Herschel and Magdalene, November 3rd, 2013, Neva Lessard, Rich Lessard's wife, November 23rd, 2013. Catherine Evans, Mason Evans' wife, December 29th, 2013. Eunice Inke, Virgil Inke's wife, on February 14th, 2014. Zenith Bunders, Walt Schaefer's daughter, March 15th, 2014. Marie Whitaker, Ray and Mary Kellogg's daughter, April 21st, 2014. Bob Lessard, son of Lester and Evelyn Lessard, April 30th, 2014. Raymond Shalka, son of Ray and Irene, May 18th, 2014. And Jerry Blackie Lessard, May 26th, 2014. And Jack Minch on May 24th, 2014. We miss everybody that we lose. And we'd like to take this time for a moment of silence. Again, thank you everyone.
Well, hello. We got some special people here this year. The mayor. He's going to say a few words. Mike Ehrlich, Parks Director, who's helped us do a lot of this. Tom Nelson. Oh, and Mike Valley, movie star. Reggie's here from Big River. So we're going to start out with Dave Hemmer, the mayor.
Thanks, Jeff. I'd like to thank you for inviting me to come over to this year. I've never been to one before. I have a little history on the island here. I had a great grandparents, the Foffers. I don't know if any of you probably remember them. That's my main tie to the island, I guess. I was fairly young when when the process started to move people off the island. But anyway, it's great that you guys keep this alive, I think, as part of our history of the city of Prairie du Chien. And I think you guys do a real nice job. We need to keep our history alive and remember. So anyway, I'd just like to thank you again for having me here today, and enjoy the afternoon.
All right, Mike, you want to speak next?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for asking me to show up here and being part of your celebration. Obviously, you guys have many stories, and every time I talk to Jeff, I hear another one, and it was interesting because a couple of weeks ago, I think it was about a week ago, I was bragging about how my son was catching bluegills here down in the gardens, which Tom Nelson obviously helps maintain. And of course, Jeff had to one-up me and say that he was catching northern pike out of the back of his back porch, I believe. So obviously, and I've talked to many people when I'm down here in the islands and talking to different people about the many things that you guys have experienced in the past, which is pretty amazing. And I do appreciate that you're here today. I hope we can keep your name intact for many years to come. Obviously, we're trying to do some different things down here for kids in the future too, but again, it all started with you, so thank you so much for continuing to enjoy this day, and thank you, Jeff.
All right, Tom Nelson is going to come up and sing Happy Birthday.
Your birthday, Jeff?
No, not mine.
I don't know. Is it your birthday, Sharon?
No!
Okay. This thing is always aimed too high for me, Dave. I gotta
Does anybody have a birthday today, yesterday, or tomorrow? Or very soon? Nobody wants you to sing, Tom.
Well,
He's got his hand up.
Oh, he's got a week. In a week, that'll work.
come on up here, Mike.
Go, Mike.
You know, as long as we're gonna celebrate out here, we're gonna do this thing right. I always like to have the opportunity to sing and dance, and I really kind of developed that since I moved to Prairie du Chien. Nobody ever let me do that in Milwaukee. I can't believe that.
You know why.
Mike, you're a real glutton for this. Yeah, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Dear Michael, you want to know we really truly never going to be over that 33. Happy birthday to you. I guess it's all about having fun. Thank you, Jeff, for inviting me. I really kind of feel it's a privilege down here. Kathy and I moved here, in fact, 45 years ago. I arrived here, and then Kathy joined me a few weeks later, and we set up home here. And we happened to drive around the island on the first week of April, 1969. And this place was absolutely gorgeous. And all of you know what the island is like in the spring of the year. It just comes to life. And we went back to Milwaukee and turned on the TV, and then a couple of weeks later, Walter Cronkite was talking about Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. There it is. One of the announcers were over there by the Fernet ice house going around with the signs that said, "We like it here." And, oh my gosh, we're moving to Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, and the entire city is underwater. What are we getting into? And when we arrived, we began to understand what this thing is all about. And because of what I've been able to do, I've been really lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones that over this time span that I've had a chance to spend a lot of time on your gift that you have here. I want to thank you for allowing me and Kathy. She's the mainstay behind what we do in the gardens and the statue park up there. Thank you for allowing us to do that. We really appreciate it. But Mike really is kind of spearheading this. When he got on the park board, he says, one of the things we need to do is we need to have a lot of trees here in the city of Prairie du Chien, and one of the places that we needed real bad is St. Ferreal Island. Well, I've been doing some things of planting trees and all this kind of stuff over the years. Last year, after your get-together, Goldie, I was talking to Goldie and Clatton, and Larry, and Paul. Goldie says, I would always wanted to plant a tree on the property where I grew up. Wow, and it followed through, and we ended up getting the picture in the paper. Last year, we planted 5 trees throughout the island, and in honor of where people live. And that's what I'm kind of basically here to talk about. If that's something that you want to do, you can go ahead and plant it. You can go ahead and plant it yourself if you wish to, and then maintain it. And some people have done that. Randy Nash has done that, and the Nash family has. Or if you want to go ahead and have us do it, we can work it through the gardens. And what we do is we charge $100 to plus the price of the tree, and there you get a little sign out there. We got one out there for the Lessard family. That was one of them that we did. And if you want that, we can do that. We just put that into the garden fund and cover that. Obviously, I know one tree that we've got to probably replace. If something happens to those trees, we have to replace them. That's where that extra money comes from. So that's something for you to think about. We don't have to deal with that today, but if that's something that you would like to be able to do, please let me know or let Mike know, and we can end up doing it. Again, thank you so much. I guess I'm the one that's talking the longest on this. Yes. See, they should never let me have the microphone.
That's why the speaker system died.
But I know now what everybody's here to see is our movie star. How was that for an introduction? Come on up here, Mike. Yay!
Who the hell had ever
What?
thought it, huh?
Who's that guy sitting next to you, Squeak? Hi, Dan. Well, one thing I'd just like to say is Billy, you wrecked the microphone. See what you did now?
I do that all the time.
One thing I'd like to say is, God bless me for growing up in the Fourth Ward. Because I could not think of in today's society. It just makes me sick to see where it's went to where. I mean, we grew up here, and the things that we got to enjoy and did every day, and it's gone. It's lost. I mean, you drive over by the swimming pool, it's all filled in, you say, that's our swimming pool. It's
a rodeo ground.
I mean, if people don't visualize when you lived here what actually went on here. I mean, if you talk about the Fourth Ward, and people don't even know about it. I'm glad in my heart that I got to enjoy it. So I thank you guys very much for. Tom, I'd like to thank, the island, what you've done with it instead of just leaving it a vacant piece of land. It's greatly appreciated to where it's at today, so, and the shelters and everything we get to enjoy, so.
I got a few things to tell you.
Okay, now that we've bugged your ear here for so long, the food is all ready, so everyone grab a plate. Silverware. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Hall.
Before we start, I want you to know that the Crawford County and the Fort Crawford Museum is doing things that preserve and further the abilities to record the history of our communities on the Mississippi River. Mary Ann Twine's here, and I don't know whether we can sneak her in here. They have her give us a piece of information on what some of the futures are of what we're doing. And a fellow at the back of the room here is named Bob Collins, and he and I don't quite get along because he won't let me steal the signs that are part of the fourth ward in our community. And one of these days, Bob, we're going to have to get really enjoy a way of displaying all of the things of our communities. And I see the fellow over here once in a while that says in his book that we're going to do it. What a place that we live, and what a place we have, this part of the Midwest. And Mary, could you tell them a little bit of what is going to happen, or we hope to have happen, in preserving the history of our area?
Thanks. We're sort of in the planning phases, but what we're looking at doing at the Fort Crawford Museum is expanding our interpretive center, whatever you want to call it. And we find that our richness in our collection are our photographs and people's memories. We've started a whole oral history project interviewing people. There's some people here I know we've interviewed. And I know Betty's been really involved with a lot of it too. So if you have anything, photograph-wise especially, we'd be more than happy just to copy it, return it to you. We want to create an archive. We want to create an archive not just of the early history of Prairie du Chien, but all the way up to the present. So you can overwhelm us if you want. We appreciate anything. And I think it's really great that you guys meet every year. It's the biggest neighborhood in Prairie du Chien. It's the only neighborhood in Prairie du Chien. So congratulations to all of you. Have fun.
All right, let's eat.